Episode 18, that's racing. We've got the one and only Assaf. Assaf, welcome.
Assaf who?
Assaf Abu Sirhal.
BYPOLA.
Bipolar, get it right.
Oh, sorry. Assaf, welcome.
Hey, man.
Hello, guys.
What's up?
It's the first time you're on camera.
Yes, I hate cameras.
You know, we just want to know about your life,
Well,
where you started.
after what you just did, you should get used to the camera because,
What did he do?
well, he's just only the quickest Skyline in the world, quickest IRS in the world, quickest IRS on a Radial.
Quickest IRS on a Radial. Quickest IRS period. 6 Radial. Quickest Skyline, 18 mile per hour. Quickest Pro Street. Quickest street car.
That's a lot of titles, though.
Sure is.
And second outright import on a Radial period.
Yeah,
So
and then
that's
look,
pretty
you can have all your different subtitles and people can say it's this
is
and
no
that.
subtitles outright.
Take out the subtitle, it is the quickest Skyline
Quickest and
on
fastest
planet
Skyline.
Earth.
That's it.
Period.
Who had it before you?
Jun. With a
Oh,
6,
Jun, yeah, okay.
6:37 at 2:24.
6:37 and you went 6:31.
6:31 off it at 6.1 seconds. So pretty impressive.
That's crazy.
It's not a back off. It's not bad.
I didn't choose to back off it.
Was it actually a back off?
Yeah, so the oil line came off from the back of the sump, my fault. Put oil on the back of my tyre and hooked me into the other lane.
No
so,
way.
Yeah, I had to get off it early.
Fuck, I didn't see that.
So he went 215 mile where normally the pass before it went 229.
Oh, that's a huge difference.
Oh, massive. It would have went like a
Wow.
The
28.
car was going that past, should have went a 6:27, 6:28 at like 2:31.
Wow.
Yeah, big achievement.
It's all right.
Massive.
Huge.
There's
Huge.
always next week coming up.
I know that doesn't mean a lot to you V8 guys, Zeta, like yourself.
Oh, it's impressive. I
But
saw
this-
it drive in here and I'm like, wow, that's an impressive car.
Well, it didn't just drive here. We actually
When it had
we actually
something to
filmed a vlog of us going for a drive to
Frango's.
Frango's.
To show everyone that
Yeah.
it can be street driven.
Drive through,
No,
had
I
a feed.
our dinner was picked up in this car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, look at that, street car.
That's why it stayed warm. I had it in the floor.
Wow.
So give us a bit of history, Assaf, about yourself and about the car. I know that we've
Yeah,
got.
tell us your name, your age,
asked,
where you live.
I asked Assaf for some photos today, and I think WhatsApp froze from
I
how
actually didn't
many
have any photos, to be honest with you.
yeah.
I
so-
called my friend James, and the guy's been with me from day one, and he had a whole album on my car. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, wow. It was like photos coming up. I was like, man, I forgot about this, forgot about that. Like,
And that's the crazy thing. This car has such history that most people probably don't know about, but it's actually been a car that he's had since you're
2012, I was
And-
19 years old.
Oh, that's hectic.
since he was 19, and this thing's gone from a 10-second car to a 6-second car in his care. Throughout this whole process, he's literally rebuilt the car that many times and just continuously
That's sick.
gotten faster and faster. And
But the
it's
question is-
very impressive.
How much did you pay for it back then?
Honestly,
all I
I,
care
still
about.
remember. I paid $7.5 for it back then. He made 409 kilowatts back then. That was crazy.
That's a lot of power.
Seven
for
and a half
2012.
grand.
Take 12?
That was white, the white car with
That
the
was
manual
white,
in it.
correct. It had-
And you hated going to the track because you always were breaking gearboxes. I remember.
That's why I hated it, but I still used to go. I'd go every Wednesday night, every test and tune,
Yeah.
every full throttle Friday. I was there without fail.
So give us a rundown, Ass, like of where this started from, like what got you into racing, and how did we end up where we're at today?
Well, I've always been into cars. I've had my older cousins. They've always had cars, 200SXs. They had a fast Supra back then. Like I was probably 13 years old. It went 1060 back. Fuck, I don't know how long that was. Probably 16 years ago, 17 years ago. And that's actually the first time I met Anthony Matuk, because he used to tune and fuck around in my cousin's car. Anyways,
What a day that was.
yeah. So growing up, I used to, like, when I first got my Ps, I had a Sportiva, I had a Civic with a B18 in there, all funky shit.
S15 Autotech.
S15 Autotech as well. And then I went drifting one day with a few boys, and I actually jumped in that car. A friend of mine owned it. His name was Richard. He was a painter. I used to actually work for him at the time. I was a contractor to him. And he took me for a drive, and then he goes, you go for a lap. So I went for a lap, and I fell in love with this car. I was like, man, this is so easy to drift. I go, fuck, I wanna own this car.
So the exact car
That exact
this
same
exact
car.
Okay, yep.
So we were back at work the next day. It was a Saturday. I'll never forget it. And I walked up to him, and he had broken the diff in the night before. And he was like he just had a bit of a hissy fit. I go, you want to sell the car? He goes, give me 10 grand, take it. I literally had exactly 7.5 grand at home. I go, I'm going to go home. I'm going to come back. So I went home. I go to my parents. Give me 3.5 grand. I go, get the fuck out of here. What do you buy? I told them what I was buying. They go, no chance. Don't you dare come home with it. So I went back with my 7.5 grand. I go, look, this is what I've got. I really want the car. I got to work off the rest. He goes, look, he goes, don't worry about the rest. He goes, take it. I was like, all right, mad. So at that time, he had Zen SMD working on the car back then.
Yep.
And I called him, I'm like, have you got a diff? He goes to me, yeah. He goes, come get it. So it was clunking. I drove it from Lansvale to Padstow clunking. Like, just got there. The diff actually seized up when I got there. Put a diff in there. We went through 3 sets of tyres that day. Literally 3 sets of tyres that day. And then on the way home, it had no oil pressure. So that's where it sort of begun. And the next day I went back to Zen. I go to him like 1, 2, 3. Like, lost oil pressure. And he goes, don't stress. He goes, I'll put something together for you, whatever, whatever. I had no money, mind you. So I go, I got no money to pay you. He goes to me, it's okay. He goes, you can paint. He goes, paint this car for me and we'll call it even. I go, perfect. So put the engine together, ran it up on a dyno, made 420 kilowatts back then.
What engine was it?
It was a 2530 back then. Went to the track, it went 1090 first pass with a slipping clutch. I was like, fuck, this is sick. And had no problems with it. I was like, mad. So we put a clutch in and went back out the following week, went 1060 at 132.
Do we have a photo or video of this, guys?
You got a photo.
Yeah. All right. We'll bring up a photo of it in its original form, right? So
Yeah,
this is
the same way that I bought the car.
original car that there it is.
That's
there.
it there.
Oh, wow.
So that's when you first bought it.
That's when I first bought the car.
What's that sticker?
SMD.
That's Zen's shop. That's what his shop was called back then.
Do you know what SMD stood for? I can't say it.
Is that what it stood for?
SMD.
Yeah.
It stood for what it stood for?
I don't know what it's. You guys
Fuck
got
my
it?
dick.
Actually? Wow.
Anyways, from there, like, I kept on wanting to go racing and like I couldn't afford it because obviously I was on very little wages back then. So I kept on like working overtime and whatever to afford to fund this car, and I kept on having issues with this car. Like I kept on breaking stuff. Whether it wasn't the engine, I was breaking the gearbox, breaking the clutch, breaking the diff, always breaking something. Towards the end, my cousin came up to me, goes to me, why don't you get Anthony to build you an engine combo?
Yep.
Like, I can't afford Anthony's engine combo. Like, back then you hear Matux racing, you think, nah, this guy's like, you know, big money, like, I can't afford that. He goes, all right, he goes, we'll go speak to me and you.
Yeah.
At that time, I was a bit over the car. I had done like probably 3 engines in a matter of 3 months.
So where are you at now? How fast are you now? Have you raced the car
The
yet?
fastest I went was 10, so I went 1090, then 1060, and then I just kept on raping it on the street. Most of it was my fault. I was just limiter bashing.
You got a video of the 10-second run?
If I look hard enough, I'll find it.
All right. We'll grab it off
I'll
and
find
we'll
it.
insert it. Yeah.
Anyways, from there, went with my cousin Barry to Amps, and I go to Amp goes, what do you want? I go, I want to be able to run mines. He goes, yeah, easy. That was the exact response. And knowing Amp, like, you know how he is, cocky and whatever.
No,
I
it's
go,
not him.
the only thing is, I don't want a car that's going to break on me. I go, I'm a rapist. I don't want a car that's going to break on me. Because I guarantee you, you'll never break this car. I'm looking at this guy, I'm thinking, look at my cousin, like, this guy normal, like, how can he guarantee me I'm not going to break this car? Anyways, from there, I think he quoted me like 50 grand to do a 9-second package. I go, whatever, I go,
Back
do
then?
it. Yeah, back then. But that was actually good price back then.
Fuck, we should hit him
What
up.
are
for
we
that
like
now.
2013
This
now?
would have been
14?
2013.
Yeah.
Exactly 2013.
Is
So
that,
it was
what
like
you, is that what
45,
you got
50
quoted?
grand.
Because you were about the same time, weren't you?
I can't even remember, to be honest with you.
But he started all over again. Like, he chucked everything that was in that car in the bin and started all over again. So I think that was pretty reasonable for back then. But the best part about it was he guaranteed me I would never break this car. I was like, in my head, I looked at my cousin and I go, I'm going to break this car. He looked at me, he goes, there's no chance you'll break this car. I go,
You just
"Okay."
wanted to prove a point that you're
I
going to
wanted to
break
prove a point I'm going to break this car. So I didn't know Anthony Wall back then. I couldn't give a shit about him back then. I was like, I'm going to break this cunt setup. He finished the car for me like a couple months after. I made 720 horsepower. He finished it on a Friday. There was a testing tune on a Sunday. I go, fuck, I go, let's go. Like, we knew nothing about, I knew nothing about drag racing back then, about suspension or whatever, blah, blah, blah. The car was like lowered, put 28 9s on it, no, 26 8.5s on it back then, front runners. We went first ever pass with Anthony set up. We went 10 00 139. I was like, fuck, this is mad. Anyways, driving the car, that same setup went for probably about 3 years before I done a turbo upgrade. This is the same engine, mind you. And I'm telling you, 3 years of rape. Like, the car was on 40, 44 pounds in the heat, like no matter what day of the
It was
night
his
it
daily driver.
What did he
I
build you
used-
at? Like a 30-26?
30-25.
Oh, still 30-25.
Yeah, 30-25 with a 64-66 on it.
64-66.
It used to be on boost like 2,500 RPM.
Cracker.
No matter what gear you're in, you blow the tires off it. It's like a V8.
Yeah.
It was sick.
Sick.
Yeah.
And it was my everyday car. Like up until just before I got married, which was 25, that was my only car. Like so from 19 to 25, I had no other car to drive but that car.
25?
Yeah.
What's not?
Hey, that was when I was from 19 to 25. That was my
okay.
everyday
What do you
car.
think? You like
Age, I thought
fast forwarded
the
to the
year.
future?
I thought
It's
the
24.
He built it.
I know.
Time
That's why I
traveler.
was trying to correct
He
him.
built it next year.
You put it in the time machine and came back.
It was after that 10-0, we went back out. I went 940. Then from 9.4, we went 9.3. And then Amp's like, you need a bigger turbo. If you want to go any faster, you can't go anymore. We had that 64, 66 on like 48 pounds. It was doing nothing, but just kept on shoving whatever we could in it. And then I go to Amp, I go, whatever, give me a bigger turbo. So he actually got me a 7175 or 7275. We put that turbo on. First hit, we went 9.1 and I missed third gear. I was like, man, like, fuck, this car's going to get 8s.
What box have you got in it?
That was a factory 33 box back then.
No.
I never had a PPG box, nothing.
Wow.
So we went 9.1 a few times and I kept on breaking the box, kept on breaking third gear, and Amp goes, get a PPG. Amp's old worker back then, he had a PPG he used to use for drifting, so he had it sitting on the side. He goes, man, give me $5,000, take it. I go, mad. I took it for $5,000, put it in the car, and then I was on the chase for the 8-second pass. Back then, there was a lot of GTRs trying to get 8.2 with a manual. I think the fastest back then was Glenn, if I'm not wrong. He went 9.6 at 155 in the manual. And then we came out, we went 880 at 159. And that was, I think, the last time I raced it with a manual. That was the last time I raced it with the manual.
Was that the record back then?
That was a record. I think it still holds the record for a real drive manual car, if I'm
No
not
way.
wrong. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Still till today. And then after that, I just literally just kept on driving the car on the street. It was on, had that 7275. We had it on like 58 pounds on the street, man. No joke. 7 years later, no word of a lie, I swear on my kids, it spun a bearing. 7 years later.
Wow.
So by this time, like, I'm very tight with Anthony, very, very close with Anthony.
Is it still warranted at that time?
Look, in all fairness,
He said it's not going to break.
it didn't break. So you're talking about 7 years on over 40 pounds of boost.
And we all know how he drives.
And you know how I drive. Like, you ask any of the boys, we used to go on the M5 for a laugh, right after the camera, 4th gear, 2-step, drop the clutch, 5th gear, and keep power skidding for as long as we can.
Not the M5 in Australia. That was in Mexico.
M5 in Mexico.
Yeah.
Like, we used to just get bored and just jump, go anywhere and just like burnout, street runs. This is all on the same engine. It's unbelievable. And then from there,
I'm going to get him to build me that.
From there, Av goes, let's put an auto in the car. I was like,
I
nah.
remember when you did
I was
this
so
auto.
against autos. I was like, no. He goes, let's put an auto. We'll go 7s, whatever. I was like, man, I hate autos. Anyways, he finally convinced me after a few months. I went and paid for the box, a 2-speed power glide from ours. I went back, Jamis was helping me back then to put the box in. We went to Jamis as he had just gotten the manual box out of the car, put the auto in the car. He's just about finished, and I go to Jamis, I go, stop. He looked at me, he goes, what do you mean? I go, stop. I go, take the auto out. He goes, what are you talking about? I go, get the auto out of the car. He goes, bro, it's too late. I go, get the fucking auto out of the car. So we took the auto back out of the car, put the manual back in it, enjoyed it for another 2 years.
No way.
No joke. And then,
Is this how you got the name BYPOLA?
yeah. And then Anthony ended up winning, so we ended up going a new setup. So we went a 3-litre bottom end, 26 head with a 91 Pro mod.
Wow.
And we went
So where are we now? Because like we've got a shit ton of.
Yeah, I know.
So where are we now?
So now we are...
Car still white.
Car still white.
It's gone. Have we got a video of?
You've actually got a photo of it. Actually, I'll show you.
Did you have number plates
What-
on
what
the car?
photo?
Yeah,
that?
the number plates back then were ADHD 33.
ADHT.
Kayla, can you bring that up?
I'll
Kayla will
find
bring it up for us.
It had the blue engine bay if you're looking for 1 second. I'll show
I remember
I'll find
when you went to the track, it was the laziest
There it
board.
is. There it is. There it
Find
is.
it? Yeah,
Is that
that's
it?
it there. But I've got a photo of the engine bay if you want to see.
You got a photo of the engine bay up there?
We're forward it to Kayla.
Yeah, forward it to Kayla. Look at that. That's full old school. That's mad.
That's cute,
Forward it to
man.
her.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Amf1, he
So
done a
you're-
whole new setup.
What box? So you got auto now?
You said now it's got a turbo 400 in it. It's got
Turbo
a
400,
3-litre bottom end, 26 head, 91 Pro modding in it.
Yep.
And GDR RSN.
And
Where
the
before I only had just GDST RSN. I used to go to the track, no joke, probably for about 3 months straight. Diff shaft, diff shaft, diff shaft. One day I broke 6 diffs in a row. Like Skyline spares loved me that day. Like we were just
Wow.
going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Anyway, so now we're finished with this auto setup or whatever, and I was hating life. Like, whatever, just didn't
What
wanna-
what an engine bay, man.
yeah.
That's nice.
So
Hey, it still look good.
yeah, no, I did. It looked good. That was probably that was the best. That was the best looking engine I had back then.
What
Before
turbo was that?
That was a 91 Pro mod.
Okay. So we're getting serious now.
Yeah, so
How much power did it make?
it made 1,440 horsepower on
Wow.
42 pounds back
How
then.
long ago was this?
Yeah, what year?
That would have been
16, 17.
2016.
That's serious
2017.
power back then.
Yeah.
I remember at that time, was that when you were at war fighting with Jimmy Canava? Or was it before that?
No, Jimmy Canava, I actually beat him when the car was manual. So he had the record at 8.9,
Yeah.
and I took him out when the car was still manual.
Yeah,
I beat
okay.
him with a H pattern. And then he came back out a year or two after and beat me, and that's when I went the automatic. So that was pretty much the reason why I went the automatic, because anyone that knows Anthony wants to always, like, he wants to chase and beat people. And he's like, I guarantee the car will get sevens first pass. So I was like, oh, let's do it. So I shut my mouth, we done it, put the auto in it. We went, the first time we ever went racing with that setup was Jambo. It was a very hot day. Amph turned it down to like, I think it was like 29. No, it was 29 pounds, 29, 30 pounds. The car went first to 841 at 168 on 30 pounds of boost.
Crazy.
And then after that day, again, same thing happened. I go, fuck your auto. I'm not driving this car anymore. No joke. We had the biggest
You
fight.
didn't like it?
Nah, didn't like it. Hated it.
You should have seen his face when he came back. He goes,
I couldn't
fuck's
stand it.
this?
I didn't even go. Yeah.
Were you there?
yeah.
Yeah, well, I didn't even go for a second round. So Amph goes, oh, I'm going to put a bit more boost in it. Let's go. We'll go with 790. No one had gone 790 in a GDST back then. And I go, bro, you're dreaming if I even jump in the car. He goes, what do you mean? I go, get that fucking auto out of my car. I go, that is boring. You just call that fun. Like, I used to go down that track with the H pattern. I used to be all over the shop. Like, first, second, third, facing the wall, crossed up, steer it, get it down. It felt effortless. It went 841 at 168. I swear to God, I felt like I ran a 10-2.
Yeah.
I was like, man, if that's what you call an auto, I go, I
crazy,
don't want it.
yeah.
I go,
That's
stuff
mad.
your auto. So at that time, we would have been now, what are we in now? Probably like 2020?
So we got any runs? We got any videos of any of them runs?
No.
No?
No, I didn't even record it. I didn't like it back then.
Insert him here.
I didn't like it back here.
So
Thanks,
then
Zeta.
the car actually sat around from then
Because it's auto.
because it was auto. So I sold the auto.
He
to-
literally, you don't understand. Like, if you knew Assaf back then, because I'm not touching the car.
Literally.
No, not touching it. Parked it in a shed, took the gearbox out, and left the car sitting there.
Literally.
No way. Oh, that's cool.
I ended up selling the gearbox, selling the
So
engine.
you did actually pull it out.
Yeah, I stripped the whole car. It was a rolling shell.
Far out.
It sat under my parents' carport for like, well, I was probably 24 when I stopped driving it. It sat underneath my parents' carport for 3 years.
Wow.
I go, when I get time to go back to it, I'll go back to it. And me in my head, I wanted to get manual again. And then in that time, King 32 came out, and I was involved with King 32 a lot, and I used to be pit crew for that car. And I was like, we started going fast in that car. Went like a 670 or 660 back then. And I was like, man, I go, if I can duplicate this setup and put it in a small, like in a lighter car, there's no reason that car shouldn't get like a 650 with ease. Anyway, so that wasn't the plan, but so I wanted to do the same setup and I'll slowly creep up on it. I wanted to run like low sevens, high sixes, and enjoy the car. So at this time, after 3 years, I've accepted to go fast, you need an auto. After seeing King 32, June, and all of them get down, even Zeta had Pack 275 and then had the blue car. Everyone just G'd me up. Like, it went from everyone going like 8s and 9s to everyone running deep into the 7s and then high 6-second passes. I was like, man, I can't compete with a manual car. Put it aside. And then I go, you know what? I've accepted. I had just got married. Just got married, just had my daughter. And then I was like, you know what? It's probably better I don't have a car that I can drive every day because I'm a menace on the street. So I go, maybe the auto is a good idea now. I go to Amph, I go, do what you want. He goes to me, really? I go, yeah, he goes, do what you want. He goes, what do you want? I go, I want King 32 setup, but with a power glide. He goes, why the power glide? I go, I want a power glide. I go, I feel a power glide will work better. He goes, you're on drugs. I go, put me a power glide. Anyways, I painted the car.
We all know how them conversations go.
I got the car ready for paint, whatever. I got the whole car painted. I done
What
it
made you
myself.
choose this color?
I just got sick of the white. At that time, I had the car for like 8 years, and I was like, it needs a change. Like, I need to change the color of the car, make it look a bit
Like, I
different.
remember when it came out fresh, brand
Yeah,
new.
it was beautiful.
Did you paint it yourself?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I got the car ready for paint, dropped it off to Amps, fabbed it all up. Amp had my engine ready. Dub put the engine in for me.
That's the car there.
Yeah, that was it there.
Wow.
That's the
Is that
when it
you
got
first
finished.
when you first finished it?
When I first finished the car.
How long ago was this?
That would have been
3 years?
3 years ago.
That's killer.
And back when that car finished, Fab and F put the engine and everything in for me. And I go to F, I go, oh, but actually physically I want to put the car together myself. He goes, what do you mean? I go, I want to put the car together myself. He goes, nah, you're going to fuck it. You're going to do this, you're going to do that. I go, just let me have a go. I go, it's not like I'm going to be able to do anything without asking you first. Anyway, so I attempted to put it together myself. I did call Anthony probably about 100 times a day. Made him come over to my shop. Where's this guy? Where's that guy? Help me with this. Help me with that. In the end, I ended up putting the car together myself. Well, I wouldn't say myself. I had a lot of help from Anthony, a lot of help from Tyler, a lot of help from Anthony's old worker, Salim. But it was a good learning curve for me.
I got an engine bay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a good learning curve for me. Like, it made me understand how things work and whatnot. And then over the last 2 years, like, now I'll strip that car myself and put it back together, like, with no one's help. But
Wow.
Yeah.
I still don't do anything without obviously asking Amp first or getting Amp's approval. Everything has to run by Amp for this car before I make a decision. So yeah, that's basically where
And
we're
then
at.
from that point there, is that 3 years ago you put the
What was your
motor in?
first pass?
Did
Well,
that-
that's it. What was your first pass?
Yeah,
I
so
remember-
like you put this new setup in and
Has the bipolar plate on it now?
Yes, so now it's got bipolar.
So as soon as you change the color, bipolar plates. on.
correct. So it's got bipolar. It's
Because
got,
if during that build, he changed his mind that many times about things.
Yeah, it was
that
bad.
plate was the only thing that could suit him.
so,
And the screaming and the arguments. Oh,
with it.
you don't want to know. That's the first pass, eh?
nah, it had the normal bar on it. The first pass. I think I've got a photo of it somewhere here.
What size turbo are you now?
It's got I haven't changed the turbo since we finished it. It's got a 102 Pro mod on it, Gen 2.
Gen 2, 102.
Crazy, man. This car has
And 3.2 litre?
3.2 litre.
Non-wide journal.
Non-wide journal.
Oh, that was my next.
Yeah.
Really? So you still-
Non-wide journal.
I have a wide journal crank set up at my factory ready to go. M&W is ready to go. I've got the AFIS injectors ready to go. I've got everything for that car, like obviously to go bigger. Like thinking, because I thought we're going to get to like, we got to 668 in that car and we were like, and I was like, I can't make any more power with this car because it won't let me put any more boost in it. So that's when I go, you know what, we're going to need ignition system, we're going to need this, we're going to need that. And I went crazy. I ended up buying wide journal, everything like sparks, M&Ws,
It's
AFIS
ready.
injectors.
It's ready.
Everything. And then knowing how stubborn he is, he goes, there's a reason why this car's not making boost. He goes, put the car back on the dyno. Me and Ashraf were there. He puts the car on the dyno, had the bonnet open. Amp gives it a hit. So the car used to make 2,080. So we went out first time with this new setup. We went 700, 202 first pass.
Yeah.
First outing, first pass.
202.
Literally. So we had 260 foots.
Yeah.
And then Amp goes back door it. He gets ready to go. The plan was to run a 690 first hit, but the converter actually didn't lock up into second. We actually slipped the converter. And that's why I went 70, 202. So we changed the converter, then we went 690, and then my bonnet came up on me on the finish line. Smashed my roof, smashed my windscreen, smashed the whole car.
Then he painted the car again.
And then I had to
you know
paint the
what?
car again.
I remember
I
this.
remember,
I
yeah.
remember this. I remember this.
And then from that 690, we came back out. It was the world's fastest R33 at the time.
And you're still making that 2,080.
it was still on
horsepower.
2,080 horsepower.
So what
It
happened?
hasn't
You
changed.
said you put it back on the dyno and you figured out why it was making more.
No, that's what I'm getting
We're
to.
getting
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah, getting there, mate.
So
Shut
we went
the fuck up.
690, and then we had CRD come out with the 33, the black car. What's his name? Simon? Peter Simon?
Peter Simon.
Yeah. They went 677. This was on a Thursday, if I'm not wrong.
Was that RH6?
RH6, yeah. So this was on a Thursday. I had gone 690 the week before.
Yeah.
And then they went 677, and I was like, fuck, that's like a decent gap, you know? And then Amph's like, I guarantee your first pass, you're going to go 670. I go, this guy, man, like, you know? So we went out a few days after that.
Didn't we go
and
677
the car
as
went
well?
670 to 11. I was like, okay, nice. And then we had a private track day the following week. We went 669.
What did you change from
Nothing.
going
No, this is
7.0?
nothing. So
Nothing.
So we changed the converter. We put in
Yeah, I was
a
gonna
new
say, so the
converter because the
converter's not
converter was
slipping now.
slipping. That's right.
Yeah.
So it went 69, 670, then it went 669,
Yep.
668. And then after the 668, Amp looks at me, he goes, I have no more boost to put in this car. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, it's not taking it. He goes, look at these numbers. I'm putting numbers. It's not taking it. So there's an issue with why it's not boosting. So we're going to work it out.
It was just me, Emph, and Assaf.
It was me, Anthony, and Ashraf at the shop.
Late night after work?
No, it was actually the afternoon.
Afternoon?
It was a chill afternoon because everyone was just screaming.
Okay.
It
I was
sweet.
actually busy with work that day, and I go to Anth, if you want to work it out, you work it out yourself. I'm not helping you. He can drop the car off to me, and I'll deal with it. So him and Ashraf put the car in a dyno, whatever. I heard him like start ramping it up. So I go, you know what? I'm gonna walk down. My shop's only like 4 shops down from Anthony's. Gives it a hit. It made 2370. It was like we're all looking at each other like thinking, what the fuck? Like how? And I was like, I fucking told you. Look, it's making 84 pounds. The headlight duct. We go, come on, Av, headlight duct's not gonna do that. Yeah, watch this. Close the bonnet. So we closed the bonnet. He gave it another hit and made 2120. Me and Assaf looked at each other and go, this guy fucking
way.
for real.
Starving for you.
So grab the hacksaw.
So we took Metro's. So we took Metro's headlight duct off, which is off a 32, not made for this car.
Actually,
And we were racing the next day. So there was racing on the next day, and then me and Assaf looked at each other and go, we'll make this come fit. So we're on the floor, we've got hammers, sledgehammers,
Hacksaw, everything.
Literally hacksaws, cutting up this duct, put the duct
We're
on.
moving everything around. Like, everything was in the way.
The
To
dry
get this-
sump tank was in the way, so we've loosened it up.
He's grinding it. The
so what did you
bottom
do? Like,
down.
drop the tank down lower.
We
or something?
fucking got a plank of wood and started hammering the fucking tank down. It's still damaged.
You don't understand.
For 300 horsepower, you break
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah, one of us is underneath. He goes, can I go any lower? Yeah, boom.
Literally.
The fiberglass that we had on us that night.
Oh, it was a disaster. And then
Crazy, eh?
we put the headlight duct on. Gave it a hit.
So you got it on.
Bang.
And a
it
headlight.
made the exact same power. So it made 2370 again with the headlight duct on and the bonnet closed. Amph goes that day, Assaf will remember, he looked at me and Assaf, he goes, if this car leaves the line tomorrow, this car's going at 649 at 221. I looked at
He
him.
goes, start
and
clapping. He goes, if it leaves, start clapping. Don't even look.
I looked at him, I go, you are off your fucking head. Like, you're dreaming it's going to go that number. Like, even me, I thought there's no way in the world. Like, all right, I understand we picked up 200 horsepower, but like getting things to work and whatever, like it's not going to be that easy. So the next day we get to the racetrack. I've done my burnout. And all I've remembered in the back of my head is Anthony's voice telling me, if this car takes off, it's going to go 649, 221. So I come up on the trans brake, hit the two-step, let go of that button, and the car gripped. Took me straight towards the wall. I was probably like a millimeter off of hitting the wall.
People turned
Everyone
around.
thought I hit the
they
wall.
hit the wall. They turned around to get the
I
button.
honestly thought I hit the wall because the car's auto-shifted, right? So by the time it came out and I'm trying to get it off the wall, it clicked into second. The bang into second, I thought it hit the wall. So I quickly just shoved it back into the middle of a lane and continued my run. I get to the bottom and Zeta was there, Zeta and Frank, and they both walked over to me like, man, that fucking sounded fast. Like, it fucking felt fast. Anyways, Jason calls me, he goes to me, 649, 221. I go, get fucked. He goes, 649, 221.
No
I
way.
go, wow.
That's sick.
How that
happy
car
it
knew
was.
that number that it happened?
Wow.
It was crazy, man, crazy. So we went back, whatever, celebrated, whatever. Amph goes, the car will go faster. I go, man, what do you mean the car will go faster? He goes, the car will go faster.
What was your 60?
It was 109. It was the first time the car went 109. I used to 60. The best 60 before that pass was a 114.
114.
Massive difference.
Massive difference. So we went back. Amph goes, get back in the car. Let's go back out. The car will go faster. I go, all right, done. So we went back out. He put more boost in it, bring the power in earlier, whatnot. We took off, whatever. The car went 651 at 222. That's when we realized there's an issue with the gearbox somewhere because he put like an extra 5-6 numbers in the boost map. So it should have made like another 5 pounds of boost. So the car should have definitely gone faster than 222.
Yep.
And then I took the box out. I sent it to my gearbox guy, which is down in Wollongong. His name's Maje, Motortech. He stripped the box apart. He goes, man, you literally have no clutches left in this box. I go, what do you mean? He goes, your clutches have been burnt out in this gearbox probably for over 6-7 months. I go, you kidding me? He goes to me, no word of a lie. He goes, have you got a gearbox cooler? I go, what's a gearbox cooler? He goes, the one you put the lines on and it's got a fan on it. I go, no one told me about a gearbox cooler. So the next day I went and bought a gearbox cooler. He gave me the box back. And then what happened after that?
Went out because
So-
the box
oh, yeah,
was strong.
sorry.
It kept spinning because the rear
Yeah,
end mirror
sorry.
was
So
there.
now we had drive. So now the box was actually working how it should. We kept on spinning the tire, spinning the tire, spinning the tire. Then we finally got it to work, but we turned it down and went 650 at 221. That pass, sorry, the next pass after that, we gave it a bit more on the hit. The car ended up on 2 wheels, like to half track, and it bent the subframe. So we didn't know it bent the subframe. So we're still trying after this probably for about 3 months straight, and the
Bombing
car
the
would
tyres,
not leave a
bombing the
line. Yeah.
tyres.
Would not leave a line for 3-4 months straight.
Bomb. It just.
It got that frustrating. Like the last time I raced that car, like when it was bombing the tires, it bombed the tires. I just held on to it. It clicked second gear and took me straight into the wall. I actually tapped the wall. I didn't care. I just kept on driving and came back around. Like, I'm not fucking racing.
And
this
then he
car
turned it
anymore.
into a burnout car the next day. He was just doing power skids in the street.
Yeah.
Didn't care.
That didn't turn out well either. But
Yeah, he went up the curb.
we hit the curb. And then So I go to Amp, like, I'm stripping the whole car. He goes, relax. He goes, we'll work it out. We'll see why. I go, bro, there has to be a reason why this car keeps spinning the tire. You can't have a car like went for a year and a half. Like no matter where you were, what track, let go of the button and the car takes off. It goes 1-0 or low, 1-1's in a 60. I go, something's got to be wrong. Even though the engine had nothing to do with the problem, I go, I'm going to start from the front of the car to the back of the car. Amp goes, you're crazy. I go, I have to find the problem. So I took the engine out, took all the turbo out, took the gearbox out, converter out, diff out, tail shaft out, drive shafts out. Got everything checked. Everything was perfect. I was like, man, it makes no sense. The only thing that was left in the car was a subframe in the back of the car. Look, I go, it has to be that. So I've undone all the bolts for the subframe. Usually once you undo all the bolts for the subframe, it should fall down, right?
Yeah.
I got a lever bar and I'm trying to push it down and it wouldn't come down. I was like, man, something's going on here. So we finally got it out. Looking at the subframe, we found the subframe's folded it in. Like it's actually kinked it.
In the rear.
In the rear. So what it was doing, so now if I go back to videos, it actually all makes sense. So the car used to leave a line. That car squats, but it doesn't squat much. Probably for some time it was squatting. It was actually going tuck in the tire. And I never thought anything about it. So what it was doing was actually caving the tires in and losing traction. And that's when our good mates came along, CK Racing Development. They were Amps, they were tuning that big L car.
The VL.
Yeah, and Amp was showing me my car, and like they wanted to see the car. They go, man, like, how's this car go like 649? Like they were looking at it, they had a heart attack. Like the car was up on the hoist.
What do these guys do?
They're
Like a
fab shop.
fabrication and
Fab
mechanical, I
chassis,
think,
yeah.
as well. Yeah.
They're in South Australia, I think.
They got the VL that just went
851.
751.
751, sorry. Yeah.
Big L.
Yeah.
Nice, immaculate car, man.
And yeah, he came over to just have a look at my car. He goes, do you mind if we have a look at your car? Like everyone talks about it, like factory chassis. I go, yeah. He goes, man, because we don't believe it's a factory chassis. I go, come have a look. Car was up on the hoist. They had a heart attack. Like actually looked like a factory chassis. They go, well, how come you're not racing? I go, I told them why I'm not racing. They go, oh, that's easy to do. I was like, what do you mean? So mind you, for about a month straight, I'm trying to find someone to do a subframe for me. And everyone's like, oh, no, it's a disaster of a job, blah, blah, blah.
Fab guys just think they're God and don't want to do anything.
Literally. Anyway, this guy turns around and goes to me, man, this is easy to do. I go, where you guys at? He goes to me, South Australia. I was like, all right. I go, Murad was there that day. I go, Murad, I go, we're going to get the car to South Australia. What'd you put it on?
Load shift.
Load shift.
Oh, yeah.
Like within an hour.
Put
we
an ad
had
up on load shift, guy rings up, bang. How much was it? Cheap as well, man.
$800.
Yeah, it was $800.
$800 to South Australia. The guy came within the hour. I go, man, are you sure you're going to do subframe? He goes, yeah.
We did it
So this guy, he goes, I'm going to build you a custom subframe
Yeah.
now.
at
So-
this point, but when he called the tow truck, the truck took it. We didn't think the car's coming back. Yeah. If you saw what was happening, just like,
I believe I've used load shift a couple of times now. And some of the drivers
this is
you
like a
get.
very risky job.
I go, worst case, like, it was just a shell with a roll cage in it. I go, like, if I lose the car, I lose the car.
GDST.
Like, I lose the GDST, like, I'll just buy another one. Anyways, we got the car down there. It made it there safe. Chris started working away on it. Chris calls me probably about 3 weeks in. He goes to me, man, he goes, there's no way I'm letting you back out with this roll cage in this car. I go, why, what's wrong with it? And he just started laughing. He goes, man, are you being serious? I go, what's wrong with it? It had a 6-point cage in it, right? He goes, man, you can't race a car this fast with a cage like this. I go, man, honestly, I was just bought a house or whatever. I go, I can't spend any more money. I go, like, forget it. I go, leave the roll cage the way it is. He goes, just leave it to me. Man, the guy's the nicest guy ever. He actually redone the whole roll cage in the car, didn't charge me $1.
Wow.
Took care of me with the subframe as well.
A legend.
We got the car back, put the whole car back together. We went racing. First pass, it went 6:39 at 2:29. And
Wow.
like, well, I come back around and the boys.
Where are we time frame now?
So now we're only like
A
This
year
year.
after,
2 months ago.
Yeah, this year.
This is
This year,
yeah.
now.
This year,
A
So
year after a 49.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we ran the 49 lot last year, the year before, in October or November.
Yeah, I remember that
October,
month. It was
November,
very
and
bad
then we had 3-4 months. So last year, March, we stopped racing the car. We got the car back from, the car went to CK's in May. We got the car back in September, October. No, yeah, September, October last year.
Yeah, and put it all together.
Then I took my time putting it together because I was building and whatnot. And then we just finished the car recently, probably like, what, 2 months ago? 2-3 months ago?
Same engine.
Same exact, the
gearbox.
combo
It's
has not
just-
changed in
and-
this car.
It's just the rear end now.
Cradle.
and more
Cradle.
paint. And more paint. Because
Yeah,
you felt
more
like
paint.
painting more things on it.
I had to paint the bar and the roll cage bits and pieces. So we went out like 2 months ago. We went 6:39 at 2:29, and like we were stoked.
That's a big
Like,
jump from 649 to
And
21.
I'm thinking like, where the hell did this mile per hour come from? Like, forget about the 6:39, 2:29. Like you're talking about a car that just went 230 mile pretty much. 5-second cars run 230 mile. And he felt fast in the car. Like I came back around and like, I got an man, like that was fucking very fast.
So now you like autos.
Yeah, like that G's like. To have an auto, you have to have a car that makes 2,500 horsepower. Like, no joke. Otherwise, it feels gay. Literally. And then,
So you and him are the same.
yeah, I love manual. I love his car because it's manual. Like, it's the
He's
best.
got an auto now.
No, it's not.
Yeah, he has.
No, it's not.
He has.
No, it's not. Unbelievable. Anyway, so then there was a test day the following week. We went out. We had a wastegate issue. We didn't know we had a wastegate issue. So we went out. It went first past 644. And we were all scratching our head thinking, how the fuck did the car go 644 at 224? Like, where'd everything else go?
Then he went to 41.
We didn't think anything of it. So we went back out, went 642. This went 641. And then we
So
went,
it's consistent now.
Yeah, this is all on the same
But
day.
none of us are clapping.
Yeah, no
you,
one, no
you'll
one was
see
happy.
the run, he'll come back angry, and we're just like looking at him like,
You know what? The last few track days I was at, you were there, and I see you like you're going fast, but none of you. I think I was there, and no one was clapping.
They expect too
I
much of the
remember.
car, these wankers, I swear.
when you go to 39
Yeah.
and you go back to a 41, what are we going to clap for?
Anyway, so by the time we went at 641, Amph's worked out, he goes, the wastegate's fucked. He goes, it's not letting us make more than 79 pounds. I go, just give it more off the hit. Like, sorry, Amph goes to me, I'm going to give it more off the hit. We'll just see how fast we can go. If we go into the freeze again today, it'll be nice. If not, we'll change the wastegate. We'll come back out because I'm telling you the car will go, if not a high 2, a very, very low 3. So that will make us the quickest Skyline in the world. I was like, all right, done, no problem. So we changed the wastegate. We came back out the following week again. We kept on having, the car kept on doing wheelies. So it kept on, wouldn't stay down. So Amp turned it down. We ended up getting the car down, and then the plasma cooler exploded. The tank blew straight off it.
Oh, that was all over social media.
That was all over social media.
Didn't you
So-
go to 38 the pass before it?
So yeah, I went to 38 the pass
38.
before. But that was with the boost leg. That was
Yeah,
the,
with
the
the
meeting
boost leg
before
thing.
that. So that was the day we went 644.
Why was the boost leaking?
The
Wastegate.
wastegate was fucked.
Okay, yeah,
Not Turbo Smart's fault. We've got a non-CO2 wastegate on that car.
Yeah.
But we don't want to change it to the CO2 wastegate because then we've got to guess all the numbers again for the boost curve and whatnot.
the
So
car's working.
Car's working, leave it alone. So then we went at 638 that day, and then F goes, I'm telling you, once that gate's fixed, it's going to go like a high 2, a low 3, no problem. So we went back out the following week. That's when we had the wheelie issues, and then we ended up exploding the intercooler. And then we had to wait for Hypertune to make us a cooler. He ended up making us a cooler, which we got.
What a cooler.
Yeah.
What a
Killer
cooler.
Killer
Have
cooler.
you seen it?
I'll
It's
have a-
massive.
I'll have
It's
a look
massive.
after
I
this.
think it's,
fucking-
what is it, 180 mil?
230.
No, it wasn't.
What's
It's
that,
an 8-inch cooler, so whatever
what's that
that
done
is.
to the intake temps? Have you been able to
Yeah, we
compare
checked
it?
it. So the 631 on before he stepped out, it was at 68 degrees. Like that's crazy. Like
What was
compared
it
to
before?
the Plasma one, you sit at 110.
Really? Wow.
This is, but not only that, it made
Massive difference.
Saving.
a lot. Like the boost comes in, works heaps better, it makes more boost now. Like with the same numbers that we had, it actually hit EGT cut that pass. So if you listen to the video carefully, as he shifts second gear, you hear a pop, and then right before he steps out, you hear pop, 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 pop. It actually went into engine protection because the
I
car
thought
was
you hit the
actually.
limiter.
Sorry,
I was watching that run. I thought you hit the limiter.
you know, it was actually the house.
Let's get that run up. Let's have a look at it.
Have a look.
Talk us through it.
So this is last week's
This
world
is last
record.
Friday.
Fastest and quickest Skyline in the world. 6:31, that 2:15 on a back off.
On the back off.
On a back off.
Thank you to Sydney Dragway for putting on these days. It's very important that we've got a platform to be able to race on.
This is my mate Assaf
I
Skyline.
hope it continues.
We sure do.
I think your burnout's too big.
They're always too big.
Assaf's burnouts are perfect.
That car only enough for big burnouts. Doesn't work with small burnouts.
So what are you thinking at this point? If it sticks,
At this point, because we went out twice before that and he spun the tyres, it was a pretty hot day, so the track hadn't come
it was
together yet.
greasy, it
Yeah,
took a
the
while
track
to
was
stand
crap the
straight.
whole day.
Yeah, and I was only meant to go half track. But I was that angry, I go, this car takes off, I'm backdooring it.
Didn't even look like I wanted to pick the wheels up.
No, it was perfect.
Like normally, there you go.
Man.
Fuck, that did it. Wow.
Yeah.
And it kicked you out hard towards the end.
Yeah, very hard. I thought I lost the car. I thought I was going straight into the wall.
That was a big kick out.
Massive.
So you weren't even supposed to do a full pass down?
No, I was supposed to go
It
half
felt
track
good.
and get off it, but it felt that good. I was like, man, I'm not coming off it. Like,
Wow.
it
Good on you,
clicked
bro.
second gear and it was tunnel vision.
That's hectic.
Crazy,
That's
eh?
sick.
Like-
The way it kicked out on him and to just
You know what's
get that
bad
back.
is you're down 15 mile.
That
know.
shoot
Well-
that come out really settled the car, Ray. You could see it.
Yeah.
it definitely
It's
saved.
like
As soon
perfect
as,
timing.
If you hadn't
Definitely
pulled
saved
that shoot at that time,
If
I
you
think-
hit the brakes, you're gone.
If I touched the brakes, the car would have
Yeah.
been gone. 100%.
And like it's just a perfect
Perfect
storm,
case scenario. Yeah.
That the chute came out just at the right time. It uneased the car. Or
So
settled the car.
did you feel a massive difference from when it was a 40 to a 30? Like how much
massive.
of a difference?
I'm telling you, that pass there felt like I was in a 5-second car.
Because
Like,
I
it was
remember you
tunnel
saying
vision.
like you couldn't see anything. It was just
I
blurry.
could not see nothing. It was that blurry. And I'm just looking at that time board, like, hurry the fuck up and get to the time board. And then right before the time, I'm like, fuck, we're safe. And then all of a sudden, the steering wheel just
Boom.
hooks on me. I was like, oh shit. So I've corrected it, pulled the chute, and then pulled it up. I was like, fuck, thank God. And then we've come back around, and all the boys are going crazy. I'm going crazy. Like,
It was hectic.
I was sitting on my golf buggy and I was just shocked. I was like, what the fuck?
I was sitting at the top.
Me and him were in the car at the top, and we're like, fuck, he lost it. And then it didn't click to look at the time board. We're like, it took
a while to
31, meaning, what?
It didn't register straight away.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
normally
right.
it
I was
registered.
like, is that?
If
No.
it didn't like
All of
kick
it's a
out
delayed
that,
reaction, huh?
you'd be looking
It
at
was. It was a full. It was a down reaction from everyone. The only person that reacted instantly was Sam and Anth. They
Even Amp was
There's a video. There's a video. I
Amp
put the
had a
video.
full boost leg.
Because Amp's trying to make sure I'm all right. And then he had a quick glimpse at the time board. He's like, fuck, this cunt, we took him out.
Because everyone's seen a
crazy.
215, and no one would have thought
No
he
one
went
would
a
have thought
31.
that fast with the ET.
Because he went 39 at 229.
Wow.
And then me and
Fast.
Amp opened up the log, and
fast.
Amp's looking at the log, and he's telling me, the car was going at 625 at like 231 or 27, like without overdoing
You got to
it.
remember, like the cars that are competing in this
In this
bracket,
class, yeah.
in this class, in this bracket, when you're talking these numbers, you're talking about,
You're talking about
over
what?
2,500 horsepower minimum.
talking
You're
Pro
talking
Mod
about
chassis.
almost Pro Mod chassis. You're talking about carbon fiber all the way around. This thing still has electric windows.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, it's got actually working electric windows.
Wow. You got like carbon doors or anything?
It's got carbon doors
Yeah.
and carbon boot. That's it.
That's it.
Everything else is still on the car.
The,
It's
the
got
front and rear
windows,
glass,
Yeah.
quarter windows are still glass.
It's still got radial
And
support skirts, everything, the whole lot.
The biggest
The
thing,
cooler. Let's have a
Yeah,
look.
that's
yeah,
the cooler,
put it
yeah.
on. And the biggest thing about it is that it's 2-speed.
Yeah.
It's like
with no lockup at all.
everything
Like,
of it.
Oh, so it is a 2-speed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it's
got a
still
power
two-speed.
button.
Okay.
So everything
that's
about
the-
it is like
That's the intercooler.
Yeah.
practical from what everyone
Everyone
else
else is
starts to
doing.
compete in this
Yeah.
in this category. You know,
Like when
look at the
you-
size of that cooler, man.
Yeah, it's huge.
Watch everyone come out now with a 2-speed.
Yeah, straight up.
Like when you compare it to like the world's fastest import radial car, which is that Jeremy's S15 that goes 630. You got White Rice that just went in 631. You got the other
Are
Super
you
that
faster
goes.
than what?
More
Rice?
mile, aren't you?
Exact same.
No, he's got more mile than me, but ET exactly the same.
6'3",
But on
1'9".
Friday we had actually beaten him. His ET was 636.
Yeah.
And then the next day on Saturday,
remember that,
he
at
went
the World
631
Cup.
with a 9. So the exact same as me. So me and him are equal second spot right now.
All right.
So
What's first?
it's Jeremy's S15
With,
It's 6302 at 218.
Fast.
So he's gone next
Crazy.
meeting.
Well, God willing, yeah. If everything goes to plan, if I can do that same run again without a misfire, without the car stepping out, the car should go like a 627.
Wow.
But not only that, like this is the scary part about this car, right? Like we're still on 85, 86 pound of boost. Like that engine can take 95, 100 pound of boost. Like we've had them there before. They live on that boost.
It still hasn't got the
Can
big
I say
turbos like
something,
everyone
mate?
else either.
When you think of White Rice running just recently in America at the World Cup, like their air temps are minus 700 degrees.
100%.
Minus 700 degrees. Minus 700 feet. And then we're in November here, coming into summer. I know it was a little bit cool on the last pass.
Nowhere
the
near
last-
that.
Yeah,
But it's
nowhere
not
near
at
that.
minus 700
Nah,
feet, you know. We'd be at 600-700 feet over.
More, I
maybe
reckon.
even
I reckon
more.
like 1,200.
Forget about that.
So-
like their cars probably weigh maximum with driver
But that's big.
1,000 or 1,050 kilos.
That,
Yeah.
that
Like
minus
your car,
700.
My car
what he's
with
saying is
driver-
your car over there with that kind of,
It'll be crazy.
like that kind of
With that air?
air.
It'll pick up a temp just from the air, I reckon.
Oh, easy.
What do you weigh? if you don't
With
want
me in it, the
Yeah.
car weighs 14, 15 kilos. So what's that?
What's
3,000 pounds?
29.50
or something like that. It's not light.
to- No, you're not lying.
It's not light. Like everyone looks at it and goes, "Oh, but you've taken weight out of it." Like, what have I taken out of it? Like we've added a lot of things in it. Yeah, I've taken the back seats out of it, but
Yeah.
doesn't take anything away from it. It's
No.
still got like glass windows, steel fucking guards, normal bonnet.
Sunroof.
Yeah, it's got a line. The sunroof's not there. I've put a perspex there, but it did have a sunroof up until last year. Steel quarters, like full factory chassis, like
Wow.
I haven't.
Impressive. Very, very,
Yeah,
very
it's
impressive.
pretty impressive. when you
Extremely impressive. Extremely.
It's sickening because you just don't believe it. That does that.
Yeah.
You can't. Like, if you told someone, if someone rang up Anthony and goes, "Hey, bro, I've got a GDST, put a 2-speed in it, put a 102 turbo and a 3.2. I want to go a 6.3." You're gonna laugh at the car.
Yeah.
I honestly don't even think I can replicate this car. Like,
I don't
if
think
was
anyone
to
could.
buy
Like
a-
you would laugh at it.
And,
Like,
and the funny thing is now is that when you talk to other people in the sport and you like about anything, whether it's a turbo or a cooler or whatever it is, the first thing that people say is like, well, what about Assaf's car? And then the next thing that someone says is, forget that car, man. It's a freak.
Yeah, it's an exception.
Just don't worry about that, man. Like
an
it's not. You can't compare
Yeah.
anything to that. It's just
Yeah.
one of them freaks that you probably could never replicate again. And to be honest, man, it's quite an achievement, bro.
hats off to you, brother.
100%,
man.
man.
So
100%.
where to from here? Like 631.
Well,
Obviously, the aim's to be number one in the world, but then where?
I got to draw the line somewhere because it's obviously getting like for what the car is.
It is
not-
dangerous.
It's very
Let's be
dangerous.
real.
Like,
Like-
let's be real. It's still IRS. It's still a full chassis car. It doesn't have no rails in the car, no bracing for the chassis, and like nothing at all. So the plan is, me and Anthony have agreed we're gonna go out one more time for the end of the year if we can get a spot. We want to replicate that last pass, so it should go like a 627. If we can finish the year being a number one import radial outright, be nice. If not, I'm gonna leave the car where it's at, 631, and next year I'm gonna put slicks on the car. I'm gonna turn it down and go have some, like, go racing and have some fun. Because to keep pushing, yes, the car will go faster. Like
What
without,
kind of fucking attitude's that?
have to.
No.
Have to.
You have to go at 20 before you do the slicks.
The car will go at 1 if we really wanted to.
It has to go at 20, whether it's end of the year or beginning of next year.
You have to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
Safety, man. Like the safety.
it doesn't do it by
the
the end of the
safety
year,
aspect is crazy.
He's talking now by forgetting number plate.
nah, honestly, because I actually want to go racing. I built this car to go racing. I didn't
What do
build
you
this
mean by
car.
go racing?
Like Jambo, put
Okay.
28 10 and a halves, go pro turbo, race up against
Okay, heads
like
up racing.
Bump
Eddie,
in.
Enviro,
Yeah,
VL
yeah,
God,
yeah.
like
That'd be fun.
Imagine coming up against
That'd
a
be
street
fun.
car and giving them a run. Like
100%.
It'll be mad.
That'd be sick.
You know, like I've got my son and my daughter, they love racing. Like
Yeah.
taking them to a private track hire where you're trying to PB isn't so much fun for them. They don't understand. But when they see you're up against another car and you're
It's
actually
exciting,
racing someone, it's
100%.
excitement.
100%.
You know,
I agree
and you
with
make
that.
the weekend out of
Yeah.
like.
But why do you want to turn it down?
Because it doesn't need all that power to go
No,
racing.
it'll be a nice, but
Nah, it
just to
doesn't
pump
need it.
everyone.
It doesn't need it.
Imagine you like pumping VL God like that. Like VL God, and then there's that.
When you are going racing, like how much do you turn it down? Like what kind of power do you need to?
You probably take 500 out of it.
No, it's on 85 pounds now. So if I wanted to go racing, I'll put it on like say 70 pounds.
70 pounds.
The car should go still like a 660, a
Laps,
high 650.
but do laps.
But it'll
Yeah,
do
okay.
laps. Like we'll
I
go
gotcha.
like a 118, 117 in the 60, which it will never think about breaking a shaft or
Yeah.
a CV. You don't have to worry about that. And you
What
literally-
rear end do you have in it now?
It's got an 8.8 in it now.
So you-
8.8 billet axles. But even then, like, I'm that paranoid about obviously breaking a CV because you won't have a second chance. If you break a CV in that car at half track, you're gone. It happened to me last time. Just after the 330, it broke the CV. It took me straight to the wall. I got lucky. I saved it. So ever since that time, whenever I go racing, if it doesn't have a brand new set of CVs in that car, I've taken them out. I've checked them and like analyzed them like to every single millimeter of that CV to make sure that it's good. If not, I've got rebuild kits. I've got spare CVs. I always make sure the CVs are brand new in that car when I go racing. Besides that, the car doesn't have any issues. Like I can go do laps for as long as you want, go round and round on 85 pounds and it doesn't say no. The car's actually been very good, very reliable. Like
Thinking about an auto now, I heard John.
Maybe one day we'll see.
Tell them about the new 34 that's going auto.
There's no 34 going.
Yeah. That's
Is IHM going auto now?
no,
it's not.
his new 34.
Oh, no? No autos?
Don't know.
Why are you scared to tell the people?
I don't even know what I'm doing.
Oh, so you say I was
That's
backtracking
an
now?
absolute lie.
I don't know what I was doing.
Asaf, thank you for that
Yeah,
history,
thanks,
mate.
bro.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Honestly,
That was
man.
cool.
Yeah, that was really
And
awesome.
you're not giving up until you go 6'2". Just FYI, everyone, the car's got a 6'2" before he races.
So are you driving it out of here?
yeah, I'll drive it home.
That's impressive, man.
Very impressive.
I think one other thing we were going to have a chat about is that giveaway that you just wrapped
Other
up.
32. Yes.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Thank you and congrats to the
Well
winner.
done, bro.
Well done,
Lance,
Romanos.
Lanson from
Queensland, wasn't it?
Queensland, yeah. He won the car, super excited.
What's his name?
I heard it.
Manson.
He was crying on the phone.
Yeah. I mean, he was all
Oh,
teared up.
wow.
You know what?
If he's watching this, let me know if the car's for sale when you get it.
I'll
He
tell
already
you
offered
what,
him the cash, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. He wanted the car. He didn't even want to think about it.
Yeah, but he might get the car, get
Yeah.
bored, want cash.
The feeling of actually doing that was actually awesome. So it was good. It was a good
So
feeling.
what's on the cards now for these RHM giveaways?
What's next?
Next car will be an S15 with an RB 3025.
Nice.
Oh, put a
That
64,
would be
66 on
fun.
it.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Have you already got the
Cool
car?
Yeah, car's there.
What turbos on it?
We've got a turbo smart.
Auto or manual?
No, manual. It's got to be a manual.
So you
That'd
only
be a fun car.
want to give away manual cars? That's it.
Maybe we'll do an auto one day. Who knows?
I got a 2-speed 180, a sexy for 2J.
Maybe we'll do that one
Two
day. Who
speeds,
knows?
That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Well done, man.
When's IHM 34 coming back out?
Good question.
It's been a
When
while.
was the last time you won roll racing? Because like they keep
Are
telling me
you-
it was like February
Listen,
2
I'll
years
tell
ago.
you the
bro.
last
Is
time.
that true?
No, that's not true.
No,
So
it
was the last time
we won
IH
at roll racing.
No, IHM won roll
at
racing.
One at roll racing was
February?
November 23 at the workshop challenge.
That wasn't roll racing, but
It was roll racing. We won at roll racing.
They won at
me tell
roll
you,
racing
we won
and
roll
roll racing event. It's a different
give
thing.
us-
It was a workshop challenge.
Okay,
Yeah, but it's not roll racing
Was it
event.
a roll racing event?
I beat the winner that took out the event.
Was it a roll racing
Doesn't
event?
mean nothing.
RH7 was in it. Tony was in
Yeah, but it
it.
doesn't mean nothing.
It does.
Was
No.
it a roll racing event?
So, huh?
Was it
It
roll
was.
racing?
Roll racing put the event
Oh,
on.
well then it counts.
No,
It
but it
does,
wasn't
it does,
roll
it
racing.
does.
No, but hold on a
It
second.
was
Hold on a
workshop.
second.
He just
hold
said
on
it
a
was
second.
roll racing
But
event.
listen, they, on the night,
It was a workshop challenge.
there was a
The
workshop
biggest
challenge
the
and
work-
roll racing.
Okay, let me
He
explain.
didn't win roll racing.
Yeah,
Let
but
me
hold on.
explain to
Didn't
you.
roll racing put on the workshop challenge?
Yes.
But they were both events.
No,
on.
but
No,
roll
no,
racing
no,
held
he-
it.
I see
No,
what
it
you're
was
saying.
like a. It was like a
hang on a
sub.
You're doing subcategories
No,
now.
that's what he's
That's
doing.
exactly what he's doing. No, roll.
I have to agree with him here because like he had an opportunity
No, no.
to race
At roll
that
racing.
same day
No, I did race at the same
to
day.
win both
Yeah,
the workshop
I did.
wars and the roll racing.
You had an issue, didn't you?
I
He
did. My
couldn't
vacuum
win.
line piped off. My
He
vacuum.
couldn't win
Listen,
the roll racing. He
And
won
say-
the workshop.
He
wars.
won the workshop wars.
Why's he got it
I
in for
get
you so
that.
hard?
The argument
it.
is,
Why has he got it in
when
for you?
is the last time you won at roll racing?
No,
The car did
that wasn't
win.
the question.
No, when did the last time you
win?
won a roll racing?
Not the workshop wars.
February 2000.
February. But
21?
last time, no, not 21, 23. But the last
That's a
time,
long time ago, bro.
It's like 20 months.
Why you got to bring up old shit for, man?
20
cars finished in
You know what? In that
Bro,
time,
that's 2 years and 2 months, bro.
in that
It's not
time,
2 years.
It is.
in
What
2
you talking
months.
about?
We're in 24.
We're Feb 25 in 2 months, mate.
Mate, what are you talking about?
That's 2 years,
So-
bro.
But all right, what
It's
second
4
question
about
months.
is?
it. Wait.
When does that
It's
happen?
4
All right,
months.
okay.
But in
How
that
does
time,
that happen?
bipolar went
Listen,
7-0 to 6-3.
I actually, no, you guys have
Bro,
to think,
2
right?
years, and he says he's the king.
I actually turned into a
Dickheads.
drag racer for about,
I forgot that,
about
yeah.
a
He
year.
did.
Yeah,
and he,
yeah,
and he
you
held
gotta
the
give him
record.
credit for
He
that.
held the record for a
I
while.
did stop roll racing
You
for
did,
a
you
long
did.
period of time.
This is true.
You know,
No,
and then let me
fair
tell you
enough.
something. The
But you
last
still haven't
two,
won it in 2 years.
but the last two events that I actually competed in roll racing, I come second twice.
Second isn't first.
Doesn't matter.
Hey, have you heard Ricky Bobby?
Second is first last.
Have you heard Ricky Bobby?
If you ain't
Ricky
first,
Bobby.
you last.
If you ain't first, you last.
But yeah, there was a big period there where I identified as a drag racer, did very well. Went
You
back
did,
to
So
roll
when are
did.
you going to
That's another
identify
thing.
as your original roots
I'm
now?
coming back to roll racing very soon.
When are you
When?
going to come back to the...
Well, aren't you
Are
going
we
to be at
gonna
the next
say
one?
Feb
I'll
25.
have to go back to roll racing.
Aren't you going to the next
I
event?
love roll racing.
Aren't you going to the
Whoa,
next
whoa,
one?
whoa, whoa. We've got a bet.
We do. $5,000 bet.
Yeah, but that's the next roll racing
I'll be there.
in RHM.
Boys, get the car there.
In RHM.
What's the bet? What's the bet?
All right, so there's a bet. And there's 234s here. So he has bought John Wick.
Yes.
It's getting a bit of a, you know what I mean?
Which means Anthony's makeover, yes.
Yeah,
Correct.
I saw it today there.
Yes.
Matuk spec.
So it's getting ready. Brand new roll racing car compared to the used roll racing car. He knows what he's doing, but they put a $5,000 bet on. So
Are
he's,
you saying he doesn't know what he's doing?
of course not.
Racing's racing.
Yeah, but he
who's
doesn't have to
driving?
I'm
drive.
not driving.
Who's
Oh,
driving?
your brother's
My
driving.
brother's driving.
Your brother's driving.
Yeah,
Bro, if
but
his
you
brother
said,
Said
hates
Anthony was
you-
driving.
wait, you said
No,
owner
he-
driver.
Oh
He
my
said
God.
he
He
said
said
Anthony
owner
can't
driver.
drive.
Anthony can't drive.
No,
No,
but-
we said it then and there.
No, you said-
No, I didn't say it. Who's with us? Navi.
yeah, but you said owner.
Yeah.
He said owner driver.
Navi goes
but
owner driver.
Anthony is sponsoring the car. So technically, he's the owner as well.
Well, no, it's
So,
sponsored.
honestly-
no, but he said I'll own half.
Didn't
if I
he buy
sponsor.
half the car?
Me and F did.
Oh, so can
okay, so
Anthony
he can
drive?
drive it.
Can Anthony drive?
If
Romanos
know what?
won't care.
I don't care.
That's it.
Okay.
You shouldn't let that phase you.
All right, but listen, but listen, the money goes to charity.
The money goes to charity?
Yeah,
That's nice.
We pick a charity and the money goes
Ashraf
to
Sawai's
charity.
charity.
All right.
Keep in mind, auto, manual, bring what you
No,
got.
no, but whoa.
Stop. Maybe I'm going auto.
Stop.
You want a two-speed?
Maybe you know what? Maybe I'll go two-speed.
Asaf, you're getting a phone call later.
So when's this happening next
It's
one?
the 1st of November, isn't it?
No, first
We're
of
first November's
November's
Oh,
passed.
sorry.
Brother, we were
22nd.
just talking about the
20
future, 25.
22nd.
Now you're...
Sorry, bro. You're right. Sorry, Zayda. 100%. How's the time?
22nd.
How's the time?
We haven't got 5,000 views. I was watching it yesterday.
But are you going to be ready in 2 weeks?
What is it?
It's in 2 weeks.
Is he going to be ready?
I don't know.
So what
We're
happened?
going to try our hardest.
If you aren't
When's the
there,
next
money's
one?
going
When's
to
the next
charity
one after the
regardless.
There's one more after that.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
I'm
lock it
going
in for
to
the one
December.
after that.
Yeah.
I think so.
If we don't make it, look, regardless, if we don't make it, we'll go to the one after that. But there is one more
'Cause
after that. Can we look at the dates on Raw
Asaf,
Racing, actually? See what
I
the
need
next
you
one
in
is?
December.
For
My passenger.
done. We got roll racing done.
Oh, I can't wait to smack you at Raw Racing.
But you can't respect yourself.
You know, but if he beats you, if he
2
actually
years,
beats
bro,
you,
that's a long time.
it's gonna...
Him.
I've been dragging.
He will beat me.
I was dragging.
He can't tease you.
But I'm going to tease him until he does.
If he beats you,
off
he
the
can't
road.
tease you.
That's
Bro, it's
fine.
still 2 years.
I've done 2
Jump, okay,
events
jump.
since then.
Two
Hey.
events, one event, half an event,
That's
two
right.
racing.
That's
I don't
The
know about
bottom line
you,
is,
but
it's
roll
been
racing
2
is
years since
biased
you've won.
lately. He's bought into it.
Yeah.
So
and the
they
bottom
always
line,
favour
in that
him.
2 years, I've held the manual.
Well,
record.
not clearly, not, because he hasn't won it.
He hasn't taken a car
Have you
there.
bought into
that's
Raw
true.
Racing?
Who said
Are you a
that?
part owner?
No, who said that?
Raw Racing is a sick event. The guys that run it are awesome.
It's a fucking mad event.
Thank you to Raw
I've
Racing
never been.
as well
I've never
for
been.
What do you mean you never been?
taking
I've
us
never
up to the
been.
tower.
Do you know
That
what?
was,
I'm gonna-
that was sick.
you know what?
They
We're
took
gonna
us for
build
a
a Raw Racing
little
car
tour up to
together
the
for you.
tower.
No way.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Romanos, I want to ask you something.
There you go. When is
You
it?
only had such little time doing
Sorry?
drag racing and you've done very, very well.
Oh, it is the
I'm going
last
to give it
one.
to you.
Oh, no.
Is there any plans of coming back and
It's the last one. It's the last one of the year.
oh
The
no?
next one.
Yeah, it is too. Keep going, sorry.
Is there any plans of coming back to try and beat Anthony Sard?
Nah.
No,
No.
not interested or
Because-
Why?
They've
I
got
wanna
to
go back to
slip
Raw
a
Racing
clutch,
because you
adjust
got-
the clutch. That's why, yes.
No, I don't care about that. The car's if I'm gonna go chase numbers, honestly,
I only asked him because like you've done so well in such a short amount of
I'd rather
time.
go auto. If I'm gonna go chase numbers, I'd
See,
literally
now
rather
he's
auto.
slowly coming out with the other 34 that he's building. You guys don't
just
believe
saying,
me.
if
You
it's
didn't
not-
believe
I
me.
agree with
The
him.
Auto
It's the only way to go
34.
And
faster,
I'd rather
100%.
not go down the slipper clutch route and all that. If I'm gonna be manual, I'd rather use a clutch.
Of course.
That's just
I'm
me.
like that too.
Oh,
If
so what
not,
he's
I'd
saying
rather go
there,
straight auto.
he's saying
So
something.
they don't have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
rule. So it's,
Personal preference.
so Portelli's
Personally,
isn't
I'm
a
the same,
rule.
but a
manual
manual
car.
car should use a
Because
clutch.
it's
You
a
pull the
Portelli
clutch.
doesn't even drive his
Paddle shift like an
car.
automatic
Yeah,
car.
I know,
Like
I know.
that's
But
the truth.
I think it's more about the
It's
consistency.
not taking anything away
Yeah,
from them. I'm
definitely.
just saying like
Yeah.
a manual car should be clutch,
Yeah.
pull the gear,
You're right.
clutch,
you-
pull the gear,
yeah.
not clutch and then paddle. That's,
Yeah,
that's
I
like
agree.
a semi-automatic car.
Yeah. You'd rather.
That's me personally. I'm not
That's
taking.
it.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking anything away from him. Like
You know,
well
that's
done
it.
to him.
100%. I
But
agree.
a manual car should have a clutch,
Yeah.
lever. You pull it,
Yeah.
push the clutch in. change
Really,
gear.
a
You
manual
don't-
should
you
be
don't
1,
push
2,
your
3,
clutch
4,
every year.
5.
What a manual is.
Exactly.
No,
Yeah, but he doesn't push the clutch every time.
it's a sequential.
He's still pulling the
The
gear.
hard
back.
part is taking off with the clutch.
If the car's spinning, he has to push the clutch.
If the car spins, you have to use a clutch.
You have to use the clutch.
Yeah,
so
you
a
do.
sequential
You do.
will not let you go into
Or,
gear
or-
if it's
or-
spinning.
or
or
That's
you
right,
break
it
the,
doesn't.
no, you break the gear. I've had it
Yeah.
a few times.
You do.
Trust
You've
me.
broken a few things a few times.
Yeah, manual gearboxes are the worst. Samsonist, every gearbox.
We should ask the viewers to put some comments down in the put a comment down the bottom what they prefer. Do you prefer
Manual or auto?
or auto? Let
But
us
you know
what
what?
prefer.
In my personal opinion, since we're given opinions, that real manual king is Pele
100%.
because it's actual H,
H
pattern
pattern, yeah. Is
manual.
Is that the
33.
33.
Yeah,
H
that
pattern.
thing was.
I love H pattern.
H
I
80
do love
in a
H
H pattern.
That's
I do.
100% without a doubt real.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. There's no slip there. It's manual.
Yeah, but you're not using a clutch
That's
when
real.
you're changing
Yeah.
gears.
Yeah, same. You're not
then
using a
if we-
clutch.
Create these
you unload a little
subcategories
bit
to
and you
favour
bang,
each
yeah.
person's
Smack,
own
smack,
Yeah,
smack.
so it's like a
It's
sequential
not-
thing,
what I'm
but
saying.
you still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's not that much different.
Anyway.
It is.
When you
I
drive
think,
both,
I think
it's
the,
not.
the reality is you haven't won Raw Racing in 2 years. That you need to come back, bro. Like that's a hard pill to swallow. Even for
you're a
me.
drag racer.
And I've never been there.
I've got 1, 2, 3. I don't need, first I was
Bro,
1 and
that's
2.
a hard pill to swallow, and I've never been to roll racing.
And he knows
All
why-
I know
why are
is
you
Romanos and roll racing and winning and.
Why are you
Bro,
talking about
2
roll racing? You're a
years.
drag racer.
I
You
want to
hate
go.
roll
I
racing.
want to go roll racing.
You're coming next roll racing and you're jumping in the car with me. You're going passenger.
Done.
I'm serious.
Can we
I
film
wanna
that?
Oh, 1,000% in car.
We're gonna see Zayda's
I
head.
shit myself passenger,
you are.
bro.
No, I love
I drive fast cars, but the second you're a passenger, because you've got no control over, I'm like a little girl, mate.
I think it feels worse in passenger.
can't
It
Yeah,
does
it
feel
does.
worse in passenger.
It's,
Nah,
yeah, I
what do
think
you
it's
mean?
about 10
He's the
times
best
worse.
passenger to have in the world.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel nothing.
Discriminate,
Look,
go, you Uber driver, go.
I don't jump in passenger with no one besides literally Anthony Matuk or Ashraf. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know
I
why I
don't-
trust him. Anthony, I trust. I know he's a good driver. He's got it down pat. But this guy is just something different. Like, our vibe when we're in the car and me giving it to him just makes it fun. Like, I don't even care if we crash at that
Like,
time.
we don't know how
As long
fast
as
we're
having
going,
a
but
laugh,
we're
literally.
going fast.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of being a
All right,
passenger.
guys. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for
It's been
tuning in.
Another great episode.
That was good. Thanks a lot, guys.
We, look forward to the
Congratulations
next
once
one.
again, and hopefully you get the world record by the end of the month of the
Yeah, well-
fastest
well
import
done.
outright.
And I really enjoyed the background story. That was actually awesome.
Yeah, that was
Thank
good.
you. Killer.
That was good.
Who would have thought?
Feb 25.
From a 10,
mate. Are you gonna win it
1090
on the
to
2-year
a 6-3.
Stop.
With
I don't
more in
need
it.
another person on this. Enough.
February 23.
Hopefully we see each other at the next Raw Racing.
Hopefully we do.
Oh, look, you guys will see each other. Whether it's a racing, it's a different fix.
That is true.
I don't even know if you're going to be ready. Like, you got high hopes.
Boy,
It's 2 weeks.
hey, it's not a big job.
Not a big job. He's got no engine in the car. He's going to rewire the car. But it's not a big job.
Converter.
Well,
Converter, engine,
if the car's
wiring.
not ready, he's got Cookie to deal with, so good luck with that.
I don't even know if he'll be ready. He's building 3 cars at once. The auto GTR, the manual GTR, and the other car.
Nah, I got a feeling he'll be
Too
ready.
many stories.
I got a feeling he'll be ready.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Ciao.
Yes.